Thank you for tuning in to the Canada Startups video series. In today's video, we will be going over how you can create proper financial statements by first determining and projecting your sales revenue figures. Your revenue will be any money that is coming into the business as a result of your sales or business process. To determine these figures and properly plan for them, there are a few different ways to go about it. So let's take some time together today and see how much you can expect to make with your small business. The easiest way to project your sales revenue forward is if you have existing financial statements that you can use to work from. If you are an existing business, no matter how long you have been in business, you may use these statements to evaluate your previous history of your sales revenue in order to properly project your future figures. So, if your goal is to grow your business and you have existing financials, this will be the best way to project ahead. While every business is different, there are methods to use that would allow you to apply industry standards in terms of growth towards your own plan. In some cases, simplifying your projection model is the best way to go, by planning ahead with a mid to best case scenario in mind, but yet, considering the worst in any case. A business revenue growth of 5 to 15% year over year is often seen and interpreted as success. This may not always be true for every type of business or industry, as some can see 25 to 50%, 50% to 100%, or more. If you don't have existing figures to work from, your goal is to project or forecast. Let me show you how that's done. To properly project your sales revenue to a figure that is as close to the real thing as possible, there are a few ways that you can plan for it. First, it is a good idea to have your own expectations in place. There is a reason why you are getting into the business that you are in. Perhaps it's your knowledge, interest, or experience, but surely you will have an idea of what you think you can make in terms of the revenue goals. You definitely aren't doing it for free. So, step 1. Be sure to provide an approximate goal that you had in mind, that you would like to see yourself making by the end of the first year, second year, and the third year. These figures will become your guesstimates. Guesstimates are not considered accurate but simply assumptions. As you develop these, it is a good idea to think about how much you can actually handle, if the potential is realistic, and so on. From there, you will want to do a bit of research to determine what the market is like. Who else is doing what you want to be doing? How successful are they? With doing this research, you will likely see some industry standards that will help you determine your chances of success and potential. The standards can be applied to help you determine the lows, the averages, and the highs, but it doesn't mean that this will be an accurate representation of your business. So it's important to take it lightly and utilize it towards your own business model, while making adjustments and plans for it with the industry standards in mind. Lastly, you can always work it backward and try to determine your potential first. To do so, you will want to know how many customers per day you can handle. This may be adjusted to an hourly customer count, weekly, monthly, or whatever is more applicable for your business. From there, you have to determine the busy times and the slow times, any holidays, when you are closed, and so on. Once you have a base figure in mind as to how many customers you can service, the next step is to determine how much they can pay you. This becomes the revenue. When determining how much you can be paid, consider your average product volume and amount. Think about how much the average customer spends on your product or service. Take that figure and times it by the number of customers you hope to see. This becomes your sales revenue projection for the day, week, month, or the year. Let's take a look at a revenue projection method together. In this example, let's assume that Joy wants to start a residential cleaning business. She is currently trying to determine her financial statements to see how profitable her business would be if she was to dedicate full-time hours to it. Joy has no previous sales numbers and is trying to work the revenue projections backwards based on her capabilities. Joy's cleaning service would cost $80 per hour, with 2-hour bookings. This would mean that in an 8-hour shift that Joy is comfortable working, she would be able to handle 3 jobs with the in-between breaks and travel time. Joy doesn't want to take any days off, at least not in the first year as she develops her business, so her projections should be with the assumption that she is working Monday to Friday every week of the year. So let's look at the formula that you can also use for your own business. Joy can clean 3 homes per day and charges her customers in chunks of 2 hours at a $80 per hour rate. This means, in one day, after working 3 houses, Joy can generate about $480. If she does this 5 days per week, she will make about $2,400 per week, or $124,800 in a year, assuming the 52 weeks is what Joy is working. This becomes the revenue for her year 1. Now, the factors that have to be considered which will determine the likeliness of this may vary, but for instance, will Joy be able to secure 3 homes every day, every week, for the full year? What happens when a home takes longer than 2 hours, or when a booking is cancelled, or Joy is unable to make it due to unforeseen circumstances? All of these factor in and should have a percentage allowed for adjustment, be it up or down. Can you apply the same to your own business to determine your potential revenue? At the end of the day, financial projections aren't meant to be easy, they take time to carefully plan out and to evaluate. Take the time you need, apply the best practices, and see for yourself what you can expect to earn based on these methods. If you still have issues, or are simply stuck, work with an expert at Canada Startups to determine what your small business revenues could be. Be sure to also tune into the next video in our financial series, as we will also be going into more detail on determining your expenses as well.